access the quantum field. That's when you stop living by the familiar past and start creating a new future. And it all begins with 3 words. 3 words that, when spoken with awareness and belief, shift your frequency, change your energy, and begin to reprogram your subconscious mind. So I invite you, don't just hear these words, feel them, embody them, become them, because when you do, your life will never be the same. Everything in your life begins with a thought. The reality you experience right now, the people around you, your environment, your habits, your circumstances, all of it was once shaped by repeated thoughts held in your mind. Your brain is a record of the past, and every time you think the same thoughts, you reinforce the same neural pathways. This means you're wiring your brain to create the same reality over and over again. Thoughts are the electrical charge in the quantum field. They send the signal out. If you want to create a new future, you must start thinking greater than your environment, greater than your feelings, and greater than the conditions of your life. Most people wake up every day and immediately think about their problems. Those problems are memories from the past. And every one of those memories is connected to a familiar emotion. So the moment they begin to think about their problems, they're already in the past. Their body responds to that thought with the same chemical emotion, and now their entire state of being, mental, emotional, and physical, is anchored in what was, not what could be. You cannot create a new future while holding on to the biology of your past. To manifest change, you must become conscious of your unconscious thoughts. Begin to observe them without judgment. Interrupt the pattern. Choose a new thought, one aligned with your vision of the future, not your memories of the past. This is not wishful thinking. It's neuroplasticity. It's how you biologically begin to wire a new reality. When you rehearse future-based thoughts with clarity and intention, your brain starts to believe the future is happening now. That's the power of thought. It's the first step in collapsing time and space to bring possibility into form. Where you place your attention is where you place your energy. Most people wake up and immediately direct their attention to everything outside of them. Their phone, their to-do list, their job, their relationships, their stress. And by doing that, they start their day by investing energy into the external world before they've even centered themselves internally. Attention is a limited resource, and every time you focus on something, you give it power. So if your attention is scattered across problems, limitations, and fear, that's exactly where your energy is flowing. You are unconsciously feeding the very things you say you want to change. The quantum field responds not to what we want, but to who we are being. And who we are being is a product of what we repeatedly focus on. When you consciously direct your attention toward possibility, toward gratitude, toward the vision of your future, your energy begins to shift. Your brain starts mapping new neural connections. Your body responds with elevated chemistry, and your electromagnetic field changes. You begin to align with that future, emotionally and energetically, before it physically appears. This is the essence of creation. Most people try to change their lives by doing more, forcing outcomes, or controlling the external world. But real transformation doesn't start outside, it starts by shifting your attention within. When you meditate, visualize, or simply become present, you reclaim your energy from the distractions of the world and draw it back to your center. And when you consistently focus your attention on a clear intention with elevated emotion, you become magnetic, you become coherent. You send out a signal that is no longer tied to the past, but tuned to the frequency of your desired future. That is the moment the field begins to respond. Emotion is the fuel that drives manifestation. While a clear intention sets the direction, it is elevated emotion that provides the energy needed to bring that intention to life. Most people try to create change from a place of survival, using stress, fear, or frustration to motivate action. But those emotions are low frequency, and they keep you anchored to the past. You cannot create a new reality while living in the emotional signature of the old one. To collapse the gap between your current self and your future vision, you must feel the emotion of your desired future now before it shows up. Gratitude, joy, love, inspiration, these are elevated emotions that align your internal state with higher frequencies of the quantum field. When you combine those feelings with a clear mental image of your future, you create a powerful signal that resonates beyond time and space. Your body doesn't know the difference between an experience you're having in the present and one you're vividly imagining with emotion. So when you begin to feel abundance before the money arrives, or love before the relationship appears, or success before the outcome manifests, you teach your body emotionally what that future feels like. That is how you begin to become it. Most people wait for something in their environment to change before they feel better. But in this work, you generate the feeling first. That's what it means to create by design rather than by default. Emotion is the magnetic component of your personal electromagnetic field. It draws events, opportunities, and synchronicities that match its frequency. The stronger the emotion, the more energy you broadcast. The more consistent the feeling, the more stable the signal. And over time, that internal shift starts to reshape your external world. Your brain and body are designed to change. Neuroplasticity is the science that proves you are not hardwired to be the same for the rest of your life. Every time you think a thought, you create a connection in your brain. And when you repeat that thought consistently, you strengthen that connection until it becomes a hardwired belief. In the same way, every emotion you feel sends a chemical signal to your body, and repeated emotional patterns condition your body to respond automatically. Over time, your body becomes the unconscious mind, running programs from your past without your awareness. To truly transform your life, you must rewire the brain and recondition the body to a new mind. This begins by becoming aware of the thoughts and feelings that no longer serve your future. The moment you observe those old patterns without judgment, you interrupt the circuitry that's been unconsciously creating your current reality. That's the first step to change. Then you begin to install new thoughts aligned with who you want to become, and practice feeling the emotions of that new version of you. As you do, your brain starts firing in new sequences, patterns, and combinations. You are literally rewiring it to reflect your future instead of your past. The body, however, often resists this change. It craves the familiar chemicals of stress, doubt, and fear. But the more you teach it to feel elevated emotions like gratitude, love, and confidence, the more it begins to respond differently. You are breaking the habit of being yourself and building a new personal reality from the inside out. Through repetition, presence, and intention, the brain becomes a map of your desired future, and the body becomes an instrument of your new identity. Change then becomes not just possible. Most people live their lives unconsciously repeating the past. They wake up and immediately think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and perform the same actions as the day before. Their future becomes a predictable extension of their past. This is living in a familiar known. To truly create change, you must break that pattern by beginning to live from the future you desire, not the past you've already experienced. This means making decisions, thinking thoughts, and generating feelings as if the future you envision is already happening. It's not about faking it. It's about becoming it energetically, emotionally, and neurologically. The quantum field responds not to what you want, but to who you are being. When you act, feel, and think in alignment with your future self, you are broadcasting a new electromagnetic signature into the field. That signal starts to draw new experiences, people, and opportunities into your reality that match the frequency of your new identity. This is how true manifestation begins. Not by waiting, but by becoming. You don't have to know how or when it will happen. Your job is to stay in alignment with the vision, to feel the elevated emotions consistently, and to trust the intelligence of the field to orchestrate the details. Living from the future requires practice. You must mentally rehearse your ideal life every day until your brain no longer distinguishes it from your current reality. You must feel the emotions of that life so deeply that your body begins to believe it's already happening. Over time, your brain and body become a mirror of your future instead of a record of your past. And when you do this consistently, the external world begins to reorganize itself to match who you've become on the inside.